with Chesley and Karen, and my name is Chesley, and I'm so glad to be here. Yes, Chesley, we're glad to have our Sunday afternoon Bible story time. Oh, I tell you what, I love getting out of that crazy trunk. Do the kids like my hat? We need to know, do the kids like Chesley's hat? Do you think I look good looking? I think they think you do, and I know that, yeah, I like to flirt too. Well, I know you like to flirt. Chesley, we got a really good Bible story today. Fishy Fish Tale or Fish Truth. Oh, we're going fishing. Well, I tell you what, we're not going, but in our Bible story, and it's taken from Matthew chapter 17, and there's 24 through 27. That's right. Matthew 17, verses 24 through 27. Like Jesus was always doing good things. And you know what? I think he was grateful. They ought to be grateful. Yes, they should be grateful. And some people were, but some weren't. But you know, he was always reaching out to anybody and everybody because it's who he loved. He loved everybody. And he wanted them to know they had an opportunity to go live with him forever someday. You think just to leave. What is that theme song? Your theme song, yes. We need to have that theme song. This gospel train is chugging up the track, chugging up the track, it's chugging up the track. This gospel train is chugging up the track, it's chugging to the glory land. We're gonna see Jesus, yes I am, yes I am, yes I am. Gonna see Jesus, yes I am, yes I am, yes I am. And who can go to the glory land? You see anyone that loves the Lord and wants to serve him? I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young or fat or skinny or what, rich or poor. The Lord just wants, he loves everybody, and he wants us to love him. That if you don't love him, you don't go. That's right. Well, people that don't love him don't want to go. But Chesley, we have that opportunity and privilege, and I can't imagine who wouldn't want to go. Yes, and live with him forever. Such a wonderful Savior that we have. And oh, get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's right. Yes, you can. Gonna see Jesus in the glory land. All right, Chesley. In our story, Jesus had been doing so many wonderful things. And you know what? He was healing the sick people. Yes, he was healing the sick people, meeting all kinds of needs. And there was a man that was full of the old devil. And so he got delivered. He got delivered. Jesus set him free. And then he wanted to go everywhere, telling about Jesus and how wonderful he was. And he was set free. He knew what it was to be set free, to be delivered from that kind of bondage. Well, you would have thought that everybody would have loved him. Some of those people didn't. He was down at the temple. Down at the temple, what we call like our church. There was some church leaders there, their main church leaders, that didn't like Jesus. And why not? I don't get it. Well, Chesley, they just felt like he ruined everything. He's telling us things we don't want to hear. Well, he was telling them the truth. He was telling them the truth. And they said, I wish you'd just leave things alone. Just leave things like they are. And he was saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it was broken. They didn't understand that Jesus was the Son of God. That he was letting them know, yes, he was seeing the wonderful miracles and the great love that he had. It was evident that he was the Son of God. He was come to seek and to save that which was lost. But Chesley, they were just always looking for things. And so they went to Peter one day. Oh, yeah, he was one of the leaders. He was one of the leaders. He was one of Jesus' disciples he could depend on. And he said to him, they said to Peter when they said, does your master, does he pay his taxes? No, taxes. Who wants to pay them stinky taxes? Well, Chesley, when we live in a country, you know, you have to, we don't like to pay sometimes all of the amount that it is. And you think it's too much? Well, sometimes we think, wow, that's really much. But anyhow, taxes are something that we are supposed to be paying, and as Christians, you're supposed to do it. As Christians, we want to abide by the law. Unless it violates the Bible, well, we want to abide by the law. And so they said to Peter, does your master, does Jesus, does he pay his taxes? And what did Peter say? I don't know, I had to go ask you. No, Peter said yes. He knew that Jesus obeyed the law. Oh, my. And so it was really something. So Peter, I know what he's going to do. He's going to run and he's going to say, Jesus, guess what? They're going to know if you pay your taxes, and I told you did. Well, no, before Peter could even say anything, when he went to where Jesus was, Jesus began to talk to him. And Jesus said to him, Jesus said, what do you think, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth take customs or take taxes? From their sons or from strangers? And Peter said, well, here in our country, it's from the strangers. And Jesus said that he wasn't a stranger. That he shouldn't have. No, he didn't really have to pay. But he said, I don't want to offend anybody, and I want people to know that while he was here on earth, and really he could have been in heaven, right? He could have been in heaven, but then he chose to come to earth to show us that he loved us. And Chesley, he was showing us the way. He was our example of what it was like to live and please our Heavenly Father. That's what he was, our example. That he's so good to him, so we can follow. He's like a pattern. He was our pattern, yes, our example. So Jesus said, we don't want to offend or anything. He said, Peter, he said, I'll tell you what you do. He said, you go down, and he said, I know we don't have to pay taxes, but, I don't want to offend, so you go down to the river, you go out to the sea. He said, you go down, and what's he going down there for? Is he going to look for a treasure chest? No, I don't think he's going to find a treasure chest. And Peter was probably wondering, too, well, why am I going fishing? What's that about? Yeah, what's that about? I don't understand this. And he said, you go ahead, and you go down, and you cast a hook out there, and meet some bait on it. Well, he didn't mention the bait, but maybe it did throw bait on. Maybe that was just understood. I don't know all the details. The Peter went and he did it. Peter did it. He went down, and Jesus said, you go down, and said, when you have opened the first fish that comes up, you open its mouth, and you're going to find a piece of money. Oh, it's a fish tale. It sounds like a fishy fish tale. And that's the title of our story today, Fishy Fish Tale, or a Fish Truth. And Peter probably thought, that sounds really crazy. It makes no sense. I've been fishing for years. That's probably, he thought, I've made my living by fishing. I didn't even see none of the fishes now. This is crazy. I didn't even see any in his tummy. That's right, he thought, all the fish I've cleaned. I've never seen a coin in the mouth. He didn't say that to Jesus, though, because he was the master, and he said, I'm going to behave. I'm just going to behave, and I'm going to go fishing just like the master did. And Peter was probably, he was so excited because he was a guy that was kind of excitable. He was excitable. He was just, and Jesus said, do it, so he was going to go do it. And that's the right thing to do because it's going to work. It's going to work. So he went down there, and the Bible said he cast the hook in, and when he did, there it was. There was the money in there. And he told him, he said, Peter, when you go down there and you get this fish, it's going to be enough for two of them. And he said, it'll be enough. And sure enough, it was enough to pay the taxes for Peter and for Jesus. I tell you what, Jesus, he cares about all these things. He does. He cares about all these things, the big things, the little things. And this is a very important thing. Yes, because the people were looking at Jesus and what Jesus did. His followers, they were going to do what he did. If he did it, then they knew it was okay for them to do. Because Jesus did it wrong. He never did the wrong thing. He always did the right thing. So, Chesley, we have a fish truth. It sounded like a fishy fish tale when Jesus said, go down there and you just throw in that hook, and the first fish that comes up on his mouth is going to have this coin. It's going to be the amount you need. That didn't even make sense. But he did it, and when you do what Jesus says, it works. It makes sense because he's the Son of God. He's the Son of God. And Chesley, he is saying here, he's letting us know, I'll meet your needs that you have. Like when it comes tax time, yes, Chesley, the Lord helps us to prepare. And sometimes if things, there can be other things come up, and probably the kids have heard their parents talk about things like this. We had to be careful with the money that Jesus will help. Jesus will help us if we follow him and do all his commands. Chesley, it just pays to love the Lord. And I know this, he cares about all of these needs. You mean he cares about paying bills? He cares about the people paying their bills. So the children can pray for mom and daddy, and the parents can pray for the children. We all work together. and the Lord will help us to be like him, to be an example, just like Jesus was an example, that we'll follow his example. And he paid taxes. He paid taxes and just other things. He was always doing good things and kind things. He was showing himself kind and lovely and always caring about others. And that should be what we do. We are kind and loving and care about others. We're always wanting to help. And Chesley, you know, it's important that we get plenty of rest so that we can help others. Oh, I know what this is leading to. What do you think it's leading to? You're going to stick me in that trunk. Well, Chesley, it's just about time for you to go to bed because we finished our story. And you know something? I got another song. Chesley, I don't think we better sing another song because I think you're doing a stall job on me. So tell everybody goodbye. and I would like to see some comments. Yes, we would like to see some comments. So if you have any comments about the story, if you have another story you would like to hear, you can let us know about that. And we'll be happy to do that. Just write in the comments. Okay, Chesley, tell everybody goodbye. I'm going to tell you goodbye, and I'll see you next week. The Lord willing, I sure do love you. Yes, Chesley, we do. We love all of these kids. So until next week, you have a great and blessed week. And remember, obey your parents.